La noche se acabó, pero tengo otra vez contigo. Le doy gracias a Dios, siempre pasándolo contigo en la playa, devorarte como el sol de la mañana, viajando todo el día sin drama, solo tú y yo. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot para ti, un shot para mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot para ti, un shot para mí, un shot. Siempre lo pasamos bien lindo, lindo. Un verano contigo lindo, lindo. Ey. Me fui de vacaciones, baby, me perdí, buscando el sabor que encontré en ti. Canela con dolor de Bacardi, lo sentí. Baby, me tiene desenfocado, viendo doble, bien borracho, demasiado jodido. Contigo, pasándome contigo en la playa, devorarte como el sol de la mañana, viajando todo el día sin drama. Tú y yo, un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot para ti, un shot para mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot para ti, un shot para mí, un shot. Un día bonito, bonito, un día bonito, bonito. Pasándolo contigo en la playa, devorarte como el sol de la mañana, viajando todo el día sin drama, solo tú y yo. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot para ti, un shot para mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot para ti, un shot para mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot para ti, un shot para mí, un shot.
Question: did you get a chance to meet with the royal family, and if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't know too much about that one.
I know you guys have played in front of a lot of celebrities, but what was it like to compete in front of royalty tonight? The Prince and Princess of Wales were in the building.
It was just a regular game to me.
I know you guys have played.
I haven't played those videos for so damn long, and I was like, I need to play it today. Welcome to the Tuesday podcast, folks. Hope you are all good. Please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. I'm so sorry. I was literally coughing like 5 minutes ago, and I'm like chewing on a cough sweet to like try and get the cough out of my voice. So if you could just like excuse me, I'm gonna play like another like humorous clip because I don't want to be chomp chewing while you're listening to me talk, but I was like just having a coughing fit. So give me a sec, and yeah, you can watch this funny clip, our favorite funny clip, of while I try and sort myself out.
For a fact, they both don't like that woman.
Yep, I told you.
I tell you that because, furthermore, if you look at the situation, their father met that woman when he was 29. Do you know how old Diana was? 16. Diana was 16.
My goodness.
My man
what would they say in 2023?
You see? The Ace police have not said anything.
The Ace
so
police.
now, when
That
your
is severe grooming.
Kasi imagine your mother goes on TV
brutal, man.
and says your father and his descendants and his predecessors are bullying me, they're making me not eat, the woman is giving me sleepless nights, and then my mother dies, and then you go and marry that woman. Huh? You think I'm
How do
gonna
you
like
say?
that woman?
That is a slap in the face.
A big slap in the face. But for William, as you said, he's sucking up because what? For him, he wants to be king.
He wants to
Yeah,
be
He wants to be king.
yeah,
So,
100%.
but Harry, my guy, my brother,
My guy.
sticking up for his
William
brother.
is what you call a man that does not stand for anything, can fall for anything.
He will fall. Look at him. He's just like the wind.
Fall.
That's why his head is falling as well. His hair is falling out.
Allegedly, he's also like father, like son. I hear.
Yeah.
He also has a side pig, but
Allegedly, man.
Allegedly.
Is this a news flash?
And allegedly,
Are you breaking?
she was there at the
We
coronation.
didn't confirm it, you didn't hear it here.
Me, I'm just talking what I read in the newspapers.
Yeah.
What newspaper is this?
That already she was also there at the coronation. On Camilla's side. That's what I saw.
William had chest, eh?
Allegedly. So for me, I don't think they like her, but they tolerate her.
So they have a department of side piece affair.
Did you not see that?
All right. Thank you so much for bearing me while I sort myself out. Right. Literally in the last hour, I think we've had like 3 different extra things have come up. News about Prayers Charity. Meghan literally just posted in the last half hour again on Instagram, and she reposted something that Gwyneth Paltrow posted, and then a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So we are going to get into all of that. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Whew. Do you know, I'm feeling not so tired today. I'm actually feeling pretty okay. So maybe we can have some callers. I'll put a time limit, but if you do want to call in, I will post link here. All right. I feel like I haven't had a call in for a while. I wanted to have one on Sunday, but I was just not with it. Okay. Let's get to it. Lots and lots of stuff. First things first. Happy birthday to Kelly, aka Heart Mum, friend of Meghan's. Was literally at her house on Sunday, enjoying some banana splits. So she has just launched a new T-shirt, and the proceeds from that T-shirt will go to Alliance of Mums, which is an organization that Kelly co-founded, helping parents. And just hang on a sec. I want to get this right. To double check what Alliance of Mums actually does. A community of mums for mums supporting pregnant and parenting teens in foster care so they can build a positive future for their family. So if you want to support their organization, you can go and buy a T-shirt. So she posted this. It's my birthday and launch day. There's nothing I want more today than for all of you to go and buy this year's Alliance of Mums T-shirt. Every purchase supports our expected and parenting fostering youth. Join me in celebrating making a difference. Grab your T-shirt, spread the word, and show up for those incredible parents. And Meghan indeed showing up for her friend. Lovely. Because collaboration happens at the top. Competition happens at the bottom. Crabs in a barrel. Okay. So also posted today another post on As Ever Official. Meghan's jam, as we all know, jam is her jam. And this was captioned with "Back to the Beginning." So should be any time soon now. As Ever, they said was going to launch in the spring. Well, we are in spring. So anytime now. I just love the overall aesthetic. The branding is so just whimsical, fresh, sunny, Montecito. with a touch of Tig, but redone and sharper and better than ever. Better than ever as ever. Also, Meghan posted this. So yesterday, she posted her Shop My account with some clothes. We now have some beauty products, which is really what I was waiting for. Because I don't really spend a whole lot of money on clothes. I am a thrifter. I think the only thing that I really buy new is stuff like clubwear, and I'm a Fashion Nova girly. That is my style when I'm out in the club. But for day-to-day wear, I like classic staple pieces that are going to last a long time. So I'm a lot more of a thrifter and vintage items than like spending lots of money on new things or designer things. But when it comes to beauty, that is where I do like to spend some money. And I've been wanting to know what it is that Meghan is using nowadays. There was still some archived posts floating around from the Tig days, like bits and pieces here and there that she used to use. But now we know what she's using now. And a lot of the stuff is stuff that's actually linked to her friends, like Touch of Beauty, Hippie Highbrow. But you can see that it's doing good things for her. The first people to buy these things are going to be the haters, because goodness knows they need this more than we do. They're the ones that need all the creams and plumping gels. The men too. They will be running to buy whatever it is that Meghan's linking. There was a brand that came out and said one of their items, it sold like 300 shirts in one day. I think I've got that article somewhere. I might read it. But that is literally how much stuff Meghan ships. Like, this is the true meaning of influencer. You can literally move brands. This is the power that in her heyday, and still even now, to be honest, Oprah had. You all know that I'm a writer. I write nonfiction, and one of my aims is to sell 1 million copies of a nonfiction book that I write. That's like one of my goals, one of my things that I'm manifesting. And I started to do some research on certain books in the last like 20 years that have just really taken off for some reason. And one of the like common factors in some of these books that I was researching in the space that I want to write in, Think and Grow Rich, The Secret, a lot of these books are actually linked back to Oprah. So now that is the level of influence that Meghan has. We are at an Oprah level of influence. She doesn't even have a show, because back in the day, Oprah's heyday, her platform, it wasn't Instagram, it wasn't the net, it was a show. It was an in-person, on the couch style show. Meghan has that influence now at the click of a button. And the CEO of Netflix, he said it rightly in one of his last interviews, that people are underestimating Meghan's influence and power. I also do think that there's some people, especially in media, and celebrity circles, they know her influence. They just don't want to admit it, or they're not saying it because by admitting it, they're essentially admitting defeat. They are admitting that their smear campaign is failing, that Meghan does actually have fans, and not everybody is joining this deranged, psychotic pylon over a woman that they really don't know. So it's great to see Meghan actually making money off of her name, because everybody else and the haters, more than anyone, literally paying them mortgages off of spreading hate about her. And it is really her name. You know, one of the narratives that keeps on running is, you know, Meghan exploiting her royal connection. But why is the same royal connection not connecting the royals when they are selling something? Exactly. That point exactly. Every royal that has tried to create some kind of life for themselves outside of the fold failed. Now, that is partly because the institution is like a cult and they don't actually want you to be independent. That is part of it, but also they just don't really have anything to offer. If Meghan's and Harry's titles got stripped today, if Harry abdicated today, it wouldn't make a difference. It wouldn't make a darn difference. Most of Meghan's fans are just Meghan's fans. They're not royalists. In fact, most of them are, I would say in this space, a lot of us don't like the royal family. We don't identify as monarchists, most of us. So all this nonsense about Meghan exploiting her royal connection, out 99.99% of the Sussex Squad fan base would not care one darn bit if they strip the titles. In fact, there's a great number of people in this fan base that are like, fine, strip the titles. Let's start that parliamentary process and issue. Here for the drama. Not to disrespect the Sussex name, but I'm just trying to make a point that them carrying on saying that Meghan's exploiting her royal connection is nonsense. It is just nonsense. But Meghan is married to Prince Harry, a blood-born prince, and so her name is Sussex, and so she can use that name as a married woman if she wants to. Right, let's go to a comment section before we get on to the next thing. Oh, this is a little clip that was taken from an article. Miss Cormac41 says she has friends in London who dislike Markle out of allegiance to the royal family, yet still take style directives from her. They are like, Meghan can't do anything right. But I also just bought her sweater. Pathetic. She can't do anything right, but I copy everything that she does. They don't like her out of allegiance to the royal family. Do the royal family have allegiance to you? We're meant to be a constitutional monarchy. Monarchy and government working together. Right now, the government are doing all sorts of nonsense. Or there have been for a while. Not just this current government. The royals are doing what in that time? Nothing. Let's see what it's saying. Lightside, do you want to come up? Do you want to come up, Lightside, or are you still doing stuff in the background? Okay, I think hey.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was scrambling trying to get the headset in the computer and then like hi everyone. I thought you were gonna ping me till like a lot later, so I was like listening in.
I was like, jump on in.
Yeah, no, I was reading up because there's a lot of breaking news, as you said, right, from earlier, like right when you were about to come on. I saw that you kind of pushed the cast back a little bit because you're probably like, oh shoot, incoming. I gotta like try to talk about this. But I was reading up on the Sanibel stuff, so I'm not gonna say anything until you do. But I was like listening to you and like reading, and I'm like, oh, anyway, how are you?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
good. This year's just whizzing by, isn't it? We're in March.
It really is. Hi everyone. Okay, look, yes, I'm on a high from your text message. I'm really happy. It just brings me so much joy to see Meghan like flourishing. Do you guys remember was it a year ago? I'm not on Spaces really, but a year ago when things had gotten a little quiet. I think Harry was doing his lawsuits or whatever, and he was showing up in court, going to England. But we hadn't really heard much. We were like all waiting, anticipating if there's going to be archetypes to, but things had lulled a little bit, right? She showed up, maybe one or two red carpet events. We saw her going to a different event, and the cameras are all over her, but nothing really kind of like was coming up. We heard about oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. Orchard. What was her
America
old
Riviera.
yeah. we had like a taste like that was coming up, and we're like, oh, really excited about it. We're wondering what it was gonna be and everything. And then things got quiet, and now we are being like love bombed.
Yeah.
We are being I mean, I just love it. I'm like on cloud. I'm like on this like imaginary like cloud just of happiness and joy, because I I like seeing people happy. I've been
Yeah.
seeing so many comments, even on spaces that I'm not on, because sometimes I can see threads on Instagram, and all I see mostly are positive responses, different people trying the recipes. I'm not going to say it's her
Yeah.
recipe, but she did it. Maybe other
Mhm.
people have done that recipe in the past, but I look at it and I find myself smiling, and I love seeing the different iterations of the recipes. The lemon honey cake, I think you made that, and I'm sure other people have made that already, but
Mhm.
people put their little twist on it, and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna add this, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna try this cream," and whatever, and I just love that, and all I can think of is like, wow, like, this woman who they're saying is not that important, who's not successful and can't, like, put any roots down as far as, like, something that's lasting and successful, right? Because that's one of the criticism that they have about Meghan, is that she is, like, all over the place and she doesn't really have, like, a landing spot, which is not true. It's just that she's doing a lot of different
Yeah.
things, and she's very talented and
Yeah.
kind of
They don't
pursuing
understand what range is.
range. There you go. That is the word. She has range, and she's not scared to try dabbling in that range to see what comes of it. And I think she has so much inside her that she wants to share as well, that it comes out in the podcast as archetypes. It comes out in this new one that she has about women entrepreneurs, right? It comes out as it's just showing what she does in the garden, and baking and arranging flowers and like all those things. But I think I told you this. I feel that this is like chicken soup for the soul,
Yeah.
like all the stuff she's doing, and like this viral positivity that I'm seeing threaded and connecting so many different people that don't know each other.
Mm.
Because they're showing their recipes and they have had great things to say about her recipe. It's so positive, and I love seeing that. And I feel like with everything that's going on right now geopolitically and in the world, this is so what we need right now. You know,
Yeah.
it's so what we need right now. And I just
100%.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yes, I think I've talked enough, but yeah.
No, thank you so much for that light side. I'm just gonna okay, what I'm gonna do is, and I think you're right, this is chicken soup for the soul, is joy. And even, in the worst of times, regardless of what point in history you're at or what was going on, people still needed joy. People needed something to give them
Mhm.
morale and escapism. So, I
Mhm.
don't people kind of, a lot of the critics are like, oh, read the room. I'm like, go to any point in history, people still found um things to give them joy in the worst of times. All right, I just want to give Mina a chance to say something, and then I'm gonna play the trailer for the podcast because that came out very interesting, and then I'll have Rahini and Lightside back up. Mina, how are you? Mina, you there? Mina, can't hear you. Maybe there's something wrong with your mic. Okay, we'll come back to you. I'm gonna play the trailer for the podcast, and then I'll bring up Rahini and Lightside. All right, here it is. Also, see if you can actually guess any of the people who are talking, because I couldn't guess a single person. And usually the Daily Mail would have sent their private investigators all over the place to try and figure out who it is, and done the whole red label articles that they do. But I don't think anybody has really sussed yet who Meghan is talking to. So see if you can. Let's have a listen.
I'm Meghan, and this is Confessions of a Female Founder, a show where I chat with female entrepreneurs and friends about the sleepless nights, the lessons learned, and the laser focus that got them to where they are today.
No time to get down, cause I'm moving up. No time to get down, cause I'm moving up. No time to get down, cause I'm moving up.
We're diving into the highs.
It just started climbing and climbing and climbing, and there was 5,000, 10,000 people on our website. And I called Roger, I said, what's going on?
And the lows.
I'm sitting there the next day. I've pissed off everybody. I'm broke. And no one's calling me.
Oh, no. And the kind of advice that turns small ideas into billion-dollar businesses.
I knew in that moment I'd rather stand for something than sell a whole ton of product and stand for nothing.
You have to detach from the outcome. You have to. It's a little bit like the way we talk to our children. It's, did you try your best?
And of course, we're gonna get some girl talk. Are you saying you're not single now? Have I missed something in the past couple weeks? What's happening?
Can we stay focused, please?
Okay. And through it all, I'm building a business of my own and getting all sorts of practical advice along the way that I'm very excited to share with you. So join me for Confessions of a Female Founder from Lemonada Media, which, by the way, is also female-founded. Launching April 8th, wherever you get your podcasts. Let's do this, ladies. This is not Shark Tank. Think of this as Dolphin Tank.
Yes.
These are very friendly.
Dolphin Tank.
These are very friendly waters. It's all going to be good.
This is not Shark Tank. This is Dolphin Tank. I hope the copyright police don't get me for the don't get me for the song playing in the background. If you're watching this on replay and the copyright police do get to me, they will likely just have me cut that part out of the podcast. So I'm sorry if you don't get to hear it here, but it's all over the gram, it's all over the internet, so you can, and then obviously go on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts and listen to it there. So Rini, let's bring you up. Rini, you there?
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hey.
Hi. How everybody doing? I hear me kind of late. I hear me kind of late, so I wasn't sure what you guys were talking about.
Oh, well, just give us your general thoughts on the last couple of weeks and how you're feeling about all the joy.
Honestly, jealousy. I am bashed, shamed, jealousy, because I'm watching all of these businesses just flourish with just a sprinkling of, Princess Meghan's sparkle and flourishing. And I'm here trying to figure out the shipping. So I'm actually looking forward to Lemonade. I'm looking forward because, I've so far for Squatty Hooks, we've had, I think it's 11 orders.
Yeah.
And all but 3 of them are delivered. So nice. Shirley Slaughter is she's really upset and I don't really, and I have literally no control and I don't know what to do. So I'm really oh my God. So I am excited to hear from these founders to see how they navigated these things, because I think some people don't recognize that. Let's be devil's advocate. Let's say that Meghan really is, trying different things to see what sticks. They don't realize that 90% of businesses fail in the first year.
Yeah, exactly.
They fail, right? It's not a sure deal. And there are lots of people who start businesses and, they don't get success right away. There is ups, there's downs, there's failures, there's things that are out of your control. And, you have to find it. And the fact that she is so resilient and she's not letting, again, I don't think there are any failures, but in their mind, there's failures. So let's indulge the Lulu a little bit, right? Even if there are shortfalls, that is a lesson learned. Do you understand what I mean? It's a lesson learned for the next chapter. So it's sad that they don't know this. But I am very jealous. Like I want somebody to tell her, hey, Megan, buy one of my songs. Like, sorry, I'm jealous. I'm sorry. But I'm excited. I watched the Netflix series about 6 times.
Nice.
And I have to tell Ollie, I really don't like olive oil, so Ollie need to give me like an alternative to the olive oil. So to use, I just use butter. So I hope I stay true to her recipe. But just using the butter because I can't stomach olive oil. I don't know how I can eat it. But I'm loving it. I'm loving that she has hit a stride that they can't catch. And what is nice, I think with archetypes, there was an interruption to her stride, which was the issue with the Queen.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's nothing stopping her. And it's full speed ahead. And I am very excited. Now, on to the idiots out there, the derangers, who have an issue with her using Sussex. Do you not understand how a royal warrant works? It's
sorry, I didn't want to go too deep into that because I feel like we kind of already covered. I don't know if you were in the chat when we were covering that, but we kind of already covered that, or I just mentioned that. So if there was anything else you wanted to mention, but we did already kind of cover that.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. No, so, okay, but I wasn't there, so I didn't hear. And I'm thinking, do you not know how these work? And more importantly, they have to actually pay to keep it. So it's ridiculous and it's incredibly sad that they want to continuously believe lies instead of being inspired. I want to be inspired, and I am excited to be inspired. I'm still jealous, but I want to be inspired.
Thank you so much, Rahini. And it's true. I think the right people are being inspired, and the right people are finding their joy in what Meghan is putting out. And the whole issue about businesses and businesses failing, it is true. 90% of businesses do fail in the first year, and that's exactly why, if you are building a multifaceted brand like Meghan is, you start different businesses, you do different ventures. And actually, I feel like it's the whole side hustle boss babe thing, it is a very millennial Gen Z thing. And many of us are no longer looking, even if you think about the average person, to be in one field, one job, focused on one passion in our lives. We're very multi-passionate people. So I think it's also just Meghan stepping into her passions and stepping into all of her passions. Why just stick to one thing? If you are a multifaceted person, then by all means, step into all of your talents. And with Meghan, she's very creative in terms of creating the podcast and the different themes, and the people that I'm sure she'll invite on this one will be as fabulous as what we had on Archetypes. She's a poet and a writer, so we had the book. She can cook, so we had the cooking show. There's so many things that she's a great curator. So why not do it all? Why do you have to be stuck on one thing? Okay, I wanted to give a couple other people a platform to speak before we move on to the next thing. And FYI, can y'all just slow down? Because we're trying to buy things and you're just selling everything out. Look at this, jeans from Frame. Due to extraordinary levels of demand, this item is expected to ship much later. So please give us a chance. Okay, Lifing 24. I don't think I've ever had you up here, so let's have you up here. How are you?
Hey, doing great. How are you?
I'm great. Is this a guy?
Yes.
A guy, Squatty. Oh my God, we love you around here. Thank you for coming on. I think I've only ever
Yeah,
had
so
like 3 guy squaddies on. Thank
I've
you for
been
coming
really,
on, Life
really
Life Hang.
engaged with this whole Meghan Markle rebrand, but it really isn't a rebrand. It's more of just a re-engaging of us. And so happy this day because she's had so much stuff come out all in one day. And the Gwyneth Paltrow thing, all those clothes and lipstick and stuff on the site, and what else? A bunch of other stuff, and it's all beginning to snowball. And I think it's going to become so big that she's going to become so unstoppable. But just to piggyback on your last statement about how she's multifaceted, well, we're all multifaceted. And I think what she's showing, but we don't all have the luxury of time and money to pursue our passions, but she does. And I think she's going to teach us to slow down and teach us to pursue those things, pursue those passions while we still have the chance to do it. And I think that's going to be a bigger blessing of what she gives us going forward. So I'm excited. I can't wait to listen to the April 8th, the podcast, and to see the stuff that she comes out with the brand. And I'm going to buy some stuff for my mother. So I'm excited.
Oh, nice. And can I ask, like, could you give us like a brief rundown on, like, where you did you know a lot about the royal? Because I can hear. I think you're American, yes.
Yes, American.
So, did you know a lot about the royal family before Meghan came in? When did you start following Meghan? Were you a fan of Suits? Like, what's your fan journey?
Yeah, well, I'm older than most people who call in, so I remember the wedding. I remember all that stuff. So I'm in my 50s, so that was like shoved in our faces back in the early 80s, and the whole marriage debacle, the divorce. So I was pretty well versed with it. I was not watching Suits, did not know who she was, and so when she married, that was fun. But about a year or two later, I think after she had the baby, or after, no, it was when she was in South Africa and she was almost crying. She had that interview. That's when I started paying attention to her then. And then somehow I found, the guy who does the podcast. I forgot his name. It's
Was
not
it Hugo?
Brandon. No. Oh, yeah. I started listening to Hugo at first, but then I stopped listening to him. But there's another guy. What's his name? He makes fun of himself a lot. He's a podcaster too.
Oh, Baron?
Yeah, Baron. Yeah, Baron. So I listened to Baron, and then he kept mentioning your podcast. I started listening to your podcast. So and then I started getting on Twitter, and it's like realizing, oh my God, this is insane. This is insanity. So I try to protect her. I kind of like build her up. I try to repost stuff whenever I get a chance. So it's kind of hard to do because there's so much noise out there, but people are breaking through. I see that, so I'm excited to see that.
Oh, lovely. Well, we're so happy to have you here, and thank you so much for coming up.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Is this why? Wait, who's this here? Give me a sec. Oh, was that Y Android? Yes, that is Y Android. I was like, YND. Who's that? I feel like I know who that is.
No, it's YND. It's Lane.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, Shalibi. Okay, I was trying to figure out, is that Y Android or is that someone else? Okay, hi, Shalibi. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you feeling these last few weeks?
Oh my God, I am so inspired. I am absolutely inspired. I always like cooking. I cook. I like to sew. I make jewelry. I take pictures. I do a lot of different things beside my job as a teacher. And that show just, I don't know how to explain. I don't know. It just made me even more excited about doing those things. I've been cooking like a crazy woman. I've been cooking. I've been filming. I made the pasta, the one pot spaghetti. In one day, I had 800 views. In one day.
Wow.
I have never had a video where I had so many people in one day. And I made the sun tea. I made all the food. I baked. I haven't made the cake yet, but I baked. And I want to make the candle. It's just bringing me so much joy. My
Yeah.
job is very stressful. Everything going around here in the United States is stressful right
Yeah.
now. This
Yeah.
show just makes me relax and enjoy every moment in life. Just focus on things who make me happy. This show is amazing. I mean, personally, I'm just so happy, and it almost made me forget about the haters. I don't even care because right now, for example, on my YouTube, all the comments I'm getting are positive. They are all people who are excited about this.
Yeah.
I only
Yeah.
had one person saying something negative, but everybody else was absolutely positive. And I'm looking at other people buying Le Creuset. Everybody's buying Le Creuset.
Yeah.
And it's something that I want to say is that she opened the door for at least women of color, Black women, to show that we are classy as well. We like fine things as well. And everybody's showing what they have and showing what they're doing because it's not like it's an anomaly. It's like for so long, people put us in that box of, I don't know, savages or aggressive.
The
No, we're not that.
stereotypes. Yeah.
Stereotype. She opened the door for us to show who we are. And many of us are just like her. So when they say she's not relatable, it's not true. Absolutely not true. Yes, she has more money than many of us, but you don't need to have a lot of money to have a nice life.
Exactly.
You can make it with a bit if you know what you want and how you want to live. I'm just really happy. That's all I wanted to say. I am happy.
Oh, thank you
I
so
can't
much,
wait for the
Olivia.
second season.
Yeah, I'm happy that you're happy. Thanks so much for coming out.
You're welcome. Bye.
Right. All right. Before we move on to the next part, Lightside, you said that you had a guess for one of the voices. So did you want to just let us know who you thought might be, who you thought you might have heard? Are you there, Lightside?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I really quickly, I'm just gonna tell you, but you guys can please hold me to this if I'm wrong. But and you know how much I love these coffee beverages and these drinks. Hannah Mendoza from Clever Blends is one of my guesses for one of her guests
Yeah.
on the show. That is, I don't know, like I've heard her speak one or two times. And for some reason just came to me. So I'm hoping that I'm right and I'm hoping she does interview her because I also know that Megan actually is close with that organization and probably has investments with Clever as well. But yeah, that's one of them. I can't figure out who the other ones are though.
Okay. Yeah, it was pretty difficult because I don't think it was anyone who was like hugely recognizable. And to be honest, a lot of these founders for these businesses, they're not necessarily celebrities.
Right.
But I'm so looking forward to hearing about their journeys.
Yeah, I mean they might just be like on the level of coming up, like no big name, no big association, no ties to celebrity or anything like that necessarily, but just really putting the foundation down for their small business and building something that's really standing right now and doing really well. And I think those are the best people to talk to, like to kind of understand what their journey was. Because I imagine that during the conversations, you're going to find out that these people have failed a lot. And that's something that I was going to say to Roro, like, look, girl, I get it. Anne knows this, but I have like a little side things I do also that I don't talk about on here. And I failed so many times. Like I'm trying things. I don't know what's gonna stick, but I do it because I love it or I'm interested in it. And I think it's the same for a lot of business people, women or men, is that you take a risk. A lot of the success that you get comes from taking a chance on something and seeing what happens. And then if it doesn't work, seeing what failed and then trying to learn from it. So I'm really looking forward to the podcast with her. But yeah.
Thank you so much for that. All right, before we move on to the next thing, just wanted to say some thank you to Kevon Slims for the super chat. You said that old stuffy mold infested dying dynasty is in the US lexicon. Tell us what you really think, because of Meghan. Otherwise, nobody cares about them. Thank you for the super chat. For speaking your mind. V, thank you so much for the super sticker, and also Lottie, thank you so much for the super sticker, much appreciated. And also thank you to those of you who donate when the podcast isn't on. I don't always get a chance to thank you on a live because it's after or before I come on the podcast, but it is seen and appreciated. Thank you. All right, so on to the next thing. Centre Bale. Some rather shocking surprise news from Centre Bale just literally in the last hour. So, Prince Harry has resigned as patron of Centre Bale, the charity he co-founded in 2006 at the age of 22 with Prince Seiso of Lesotho. This decision comes in solidarity with the Prince and the entire board of trustees, who have also stepped down due to irreparable breakdown in their relationship with the chair of the board, Sophie Chanduka. This dispute centers around concerns raised by the trustees regarding Chanduka's sustainability to lead the charity and her subsequent refusal to step down. She reportedly sued the charity to retain her voluntary position, further making the situation worse. In a joint statement with Prince Harry and Prince Seiso, they both expressed their devastation over their developments, emphasizing their commitment to Centre Bale's beneficiaries despite their resignations. This is from Jessica from Duchess of Sussex Instagram. She goes on to say, "I can't help but think this situation is a deep betrayal to Prince Harry and Prince Seiso, who founded Centre Bale to support children and young people in Lesotho and Botswana affected by poverty, HIV and AIDS and other challenges, and trusted Sophie when she became the chair in 2023. The fact that even the actual founders have felt compelled to resign in solidarity with all the trustees speaks volumes about her leadership, or lack thereof. Never forget how Harry raised millions for the charity, including through polo events and all the incredible work they achieved together. From building multiple sites to expanding the charity's impact beyond Lesotho to other southern African countries, Centre Bale truly grew under their vision. The charity provides vital support, education, and life skills to ensure brighter futures for vulnerable communities. Harry, who founded the charity at just 22, has always used his position for good, working tirelessly to improve the lives of children and young needed. Hopefully this crisis will be resolved, but it's hard to ignore the gravity of the situation when it's reached this point. I mean, it's very unfortunate, but sometimes these things just do happen with these high-profile charities. People let their egos get the better of them, and instead of seeing the long-term vision, it just all gets very messy. So shame on this lady for her lack of leadership. I don't want to speculate on exactly what happened because I don't know, but whatever it is, if it's so bad that the entire board just go, we're packing it in, you must have really done something. I really do wonder what has gone on here. Shame for the beneficiaries, but I'm sure Harry and everybody involved will do their best to try and find something to some way of keeping this going, perhaps in another way, perhaps just, I don't know, starting an entirely new organization altogether. Who knows? Because Harry was really the one who was driving a lot of the money, so I don't see why the beneficiaries should suffer just because of this particular individual. So it's unfortunate, but these things they do just happen in high profile charities. It just happens. Like unfortunate, but don't let whatever the media says just blow it all out of proportion. So that's some unfortunate bad news. But I'm sure they'll find a way of cleaning it up. On to another story. This also just in the last hour or so. Completely shocking. So I saw Meghan post a news story, and I was like, oh, what's she posting now? Another fashion post? She's done fashion, makeup. Is she giving us the cookware links as well? And instead, it was this. She reposted this from Gwyneth's page. So I'm going to play the video and then we'll discuss.
I genuinely do not understand this at all whatsoever. Do you understand this? I genuinely do not understand this at all whatsoever. Do you understand this? I genuinely do not understand this at all whatsoever. Do you understand this?
Now, first of all, before I get into anything, do you notice that Meghan is eating a pie? Gwyneth recently did an interview and said that she doesn't know Meghan. She met her briefly once, but she doesn't know her. Maybe I can get past security and get some pie. And here she is in what appears to be Gwyneth's house. I don't think this is Meghan's house. Eating a pie. We love it. We love this funny pettiness. We're here for it. Eating a pie at Gwyneth's house. Now, two things. Number one, there was this whole debacle with somebody who was linked to Goop. I think it was this Tracy Anderson woman, who in one of her TikTok or Reels or whatever, she said, I'm in my house. And some people thought that was a dig to Meghan's show. And because that lady is linked to Goop, some people were dragging Gwyneth, into it. Perhaps now in reflection, unfairly, but I will say, I do think that given the level of hate surrounding Meghan, I'm not surprised that some people did take that as shade. And I just think when you have one person who is being piled on so much, like read the room. Even if it wasn't meant to be shade or meant to be rude, I think in the current climate, it can very easily be read like that. So I'm gonna now that Gwyneth posted this for Meghan, I'm gonna just assume that whatever that lady said was honestly just a joke and it wasn't meant to be any type of, like a in bad faith dig. The second thing that they've tried to drag Gwyneth into, Gwyneth posted a reel where I don't know, she was like making coffee, she didn't have her makeup done, she was just in the house, and people seem to take that as shade as well. Now, granted, anytime Meghan is linked to anybody high profile, the tabloids always try to twist the situation. Gwyneth did say in an interview, I was raised to support other women. I don't, I'm not here to drag anyone down. And she did defend Meghan. Gwyneth is, I think a lot of people forget, Hollywood royalty. I mean, Steven Spielberg is her godfather. She literally comes from Hollywood royalty. And so I think it was good for her to correct things like this. They also share a hairstylist. They both go to Highbrow Hippie. They have the same colorist. So I'm glad that Gwyneth came on and cleared this up in the funniest way, mind you. Hilarious. Meghan eating pie in her house. You just, the expression on Meghan's face, just like, oh, let the girls fight. Let the hoes and the bros fight. We are unbothered. We are, eating pie and we're making jam preserves. We are in the era of joy. And it's just great that now Meghan has a social media and her friends and her associates are also, a little bit more free to post things. Whereas in the past, maybe they couldn't. And we have more control over the narrative. They can do things like this and put them out very quickly. We love to see it. Lightside, do you want to come up?
Yes, you can hear me, right? Okay, just making sure my mic's whatever. Okay, really quickly. The haters they're blowing their lids right now. They're blowing their lids because I'm sure with Gwyneth Paltrow being so high up in Hollywood, like you said, being royalty, they already think Meghan doesn't really have real friends that they're paid or that they're actors or whatever. But to have this very nonchalant post, just not even directly addressing it, but just being really chill. And like you said, in her home, having the pie. Her look at that. Is that Megan's leg up on the chair? Am I seeing things? I don't know. You know, like she
Oh
looks
no, she's
comfortable.
she's breaking royal protocol.
If that's her, she looks pretty darn comfortable to me. I don't know. They're chilling, they're hanging out, you know? So, I don't know what everyone else is so stressed about, but there's no hair here. So, I
Yeah.
look, if this is the way you respond to your haters, right?
Mhm.
Did Megan say a word in this? No. She was just like, "Hey, look, right?" Um,
Mhm.
the other thing I wanted to say really quickly is, I wanna give some of the squaddies some hope. I was gonna ask you, and I don't know if you know about, like, charities and their boards and trustees and whatnot, but with the fact that the trustees and, all of the higher level connected folks that are there to run the charity kinda, like, walked off the set, um and Harry being so pivotal and being a big name behind the charity, I do believe that he's probably one of the big reasons why the charity gets his donations. Do
Mm.
you think that this is like a chess play? But because I imagine that they would need the board. Can the charity run without the board of trustees is the question, one. And two, do you think with all these people walking off or like saying, you know what, I'm not in agreement with leadership right now, and since you don't want to leave, we're going to leave. Do you think that is a play to potentially push this person out eventually? Because like, how is she going to stand on her own and carry the charity? So I'm hoping that
Yeah.
there's still a slight window that maybe there's maybe restructuring that could happen, and Harry and um, his partner can come back and rebuild it to continue his legacy and what he's put in for so many years. But I'm just wondering what your thoughts are with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a legal expert and I don't know how these things work, but I'm just wondering if this lady, the fact that she would sue the organization, I'm sure with these charities, like there are things in place to, protect people on the board and, checks and balances, but perhaps those things can also be weaponized by some people, and maybe that's what she's done here by actually suing. And so maybe you're right, it is some kind of chess play. They're like, okay, if we will just walk out as a way of getting rid of her, then maybe we can reband later. Maybe. I can't say I know how these things work legally.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I looked her up briefly, and I think she has a legal background also. So she probably knows her legal stuff, you know? That probably complicated the entire situation with them. But I mean, to spin it back on a lighter note, like, look, Megan is good, okay? And like you said, Steven Spielberg is what do you 6 degrees of separation or whatever you wanna call it. Like,
Yeah.
I wanna I'm not on Twitter, but I wanna know, like, how bad it is. I imagine I don't know what the all the haters, right, in the UK
Yeah.
that like to spit stuff out. I think Dan whatever is
Mm.
still making his checks or paying his rent off of Megan. Everybody is gonna have something to say, and I don't know what they're gonna see in this situation because, like, this was just shut
Mm.
down right here.
It's interesting actually. Maybe it's just because I've blocked so many people. Um, People like Dan Wooten and Piers Morgan and all of they're actually not coming up on my feed. I don't know if Piers Morgan has actually said anything in the last 3 months, to be honest. I haven't checked. Like I think a lot of their noise is actually now just being drowned out.
On the social media platforms, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know what though? I do see, unfortunately, like sometimes when I have your podcast run and I'm doing stuff in the background, unfortunately, God, I hate when this happens. It'll roll into one of their videos or one of the haters'
Mm.
videos. So I know they are on YouTube, but I don't know what the heck it is they're talking about. I just see like the headlines that they have posted. But I'm glad they're not on being seen or not as visible on your feed on social media. I mean, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not seeing. I mean, has anybody checked on Piers Morgan? Has he said I don't know? I don't know. I don't know how he is. How is his blood pressure? You know, is he drinking his beetroot juice? I mean, it just shows you, like, the second Meghan has come out the house and come on Instagram, they've been drowned out completely. And this is what they didn't want. They wanted her silence. They didn't want her to control her narrative. And now that she has, it only takes one. I mean, this one Instagram post with her and Gwyneth is going to get more than the 325 million appearances that Anne, apparently, the so-called hardest working royal Anne, does in a year. This is going to get more than anything Anne does combined. All of them does combined.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I just think this is just I am on cloud nine for her. I love this. You know what I didn't expect though with her coming out, because I think we're all worried about this, is if she came back on social media and out in the open so much, like, would the hate parade like be too heavy? You know, would it be too much too much material that they would have to attack her? And I think I don't know what you think. I think she's doing really well. I think that I've seen comments with people who never really paid attention to her that much. Some people are like, "Oh, I knew her from Suits and I loved her on Suits. I didn't care about the royal stuff, and now that she's doing this, now I'm back and I love that." I'm like, "Wow, that's really interesting." Like, these people like
Mm,
her. They knew her before she was associated with the royal family and knew that she had a
yeah,
blog and everything, and understand that and recognize it. So with all this stuff coming out now, what I will admit to you, I did not expect this to be going so well, because I'm seeing so many people that are saying she seems like she's genuinely a good person.
yeah, yeah. It's true. Like, and I've always said that I feel one of the reasons they made Meghan delete her social media, delete the blog, is so that they could, you know, rewrite her past as this person who just had a very clean life and persona, and rebuild her um, in the way that they wanted her to be perceived, in a very negative light. I think that was the game pretty much as soon as she started dating Harry, in my eyes. Anything to say about that, light side, before we wrap up?
No, I agree with everything. I mean, I think I know that you're getting to your limit with 1 hour, so I'm keeping quiet. But no, I agree with what you just said. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. I think you're absolutely right with that assessment on the situation, because I mean we know Megan for who she was. We know that, you know, we know that they were trying to create this narrative around who they wanted the public to think she was, and it just didn't stick. You know, and I
Yeah.
think what people are learning now is this is somebody that I can, even if I don't relate to everything about her, there are some things that she embodies that I can connect with. She just seems like a regular person, trying things, raising her family, you know,
Mm,
and trying to do good, trying to just kind of like share pieces of herself with community. And I think that, you know what they say, what is the saying, like, sometimes don't try to don't try to correct the lies and correct the gossip and everything that people say about you, right? Let the truth speak for itself.
yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
I'm probably completely getting that wrong, but I think that for what she's doing, she is in her element of who she is. Like, you know, and embodying it. And I think people are like, yeah, I like that. I'm gonna try that. And look, let me tell you something. When you get Italian chefs trying out her pasta recipe, girl, let me tell you
Yeah.
something, okay? Because they don't play. Yeah.
Indeed, that is the true royal seal of approval. Approval. Italian chef saying, "We love your pasta." And with that, thank you everyone for coming on. Thank you for your thoughts as usual. Love these chats. I don't always have the energy to like have a slightly longer podcast where y'all can come up, but I love it when we do, and I appreciate you giving us your thoughts. So I will just end with some of your comments and then we'll wrap things up. Thank you, everyone. She very much appreciates it for who has subscribed to others' channel over at Become That Girl Society. She posted her first video. She's doing a series on our Duchess Meghan. So if you want to, it's a 7-part series. So if you want to watch that, go and subscribe. Pierce is back on ITV. Oh, he circled back, did he? What dirt does he have on the ITV executives? Which one of them is a perv that they had to let him back, or else he'll leak the news? For real. Lulu, you said it's all in the timing. Meghan has waited until the right moment to return. Bravo to her. She's a smart woman indeed. And you know, you raised a very important point, Lulu, because I don't know how this would have played out if they had like left immediately and tried to do a whole bunch of stuff quickly. They've really taken their time, you know, dotted their I's, crossed the T's properly. Before, not just Meghan, but Harry also. I think timing is very important. I think even using silence as a tactic is very important. Moving in mystery. Nobody's really known what they were doing. Letting the press, the tabloids, and the haters, you know, entangle themselves. And you're right that the timing is impeccable. Now really was the time. And yes, there have been, you know, a few moments here and there where they had to step back, you know, the Queen's funeral and obviously what happened with the LA wildfires. But, you know, nonetheless, everything has like just, you know, we've had a nice, smooth, steady rollout of things. And I think, if anything, Meghan's journey is just a lesson in patience, perseverance, and just trusting God's time. God's timing is the best timing. And with that, I will close the podcast. Let's dance our way out. Thank you, y'all. I will see you tomorrow. Ciao.
La noche se acabó, pero tengo otra vida contigo. Le doy gracias a Dios, siempre pasándolo contigo en la playa, devorarte como el sol de la mañana, viajando todo el día sin drama, solo tú y yo, un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot por ti, un shot para mí, un shot, un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot por ti, un shot para mí, un shot. Siempre lo pasamos bien lindo, lindo. Un verano contigo lindo, lindo. Hey. Me fui de vacaciones, baby, me perdí, buscando el sabor que encontré en ti. Canela con dolor de Bacardi, lo sentí, baby, me tiene desenfocado, viendo doble, bien borracho, demasiado jodido. Devorarte como el sol de la mañana, viajando todo el día sin drama. Tú y yo, un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot por ti, un shot para mí, un shot. Un día bonito lleno de alcohol, tomar un shot por ti, un shot para mí, un shot. Un día bonito, bonito, un día bonito, bonito. Pasándolo contigo en la playa, devorarte como el sol de la mañana, viajando todo el día sin drama, solo tú y yo, un día bonito.